Cyberpunk just made me realize something very uncomfortable. I'm not really playing an RPG game because it's actually not trying to be an RPG game. And that changes the entire dynamics of what Cyberpunk really is. It's not a role-playing game at all. It's something entirely different. Jesus is the best. It's your boy Mo. First, make sure you like and subscribe on this channel for more gaming content. Let's get into it. So when we say RPG game, I think I know what we're all thinking. We're thinking of our decisions drastically impacts our environment. That's not what's really happening in Cyberpunk.
No mames.
Think of games like Fable. When I was a bad guy or I did something bad or good, the people around me would react. Townspeople would say something nice to me or they'd say something negatively to me. People might attack me, throw rocks at me. It all depended on how I, the user, reacted in my role playing the game. You're not just fulfilling a role, you're actually creating the destiny itself. The destiny isn't charted out for you. You are charting it out as you're playing the game. That's what we think of in a modern sense, or maybe even a classical sense of the term RPG game. Another aspect of an RPG game that I think is lacking in Cyberpunk to make it a real RPG game is the reputation. See, in RPG games, your reputation follows you. In Cyberpunk, it's almost irrelevant. So we have this entire street cred meter that I thought when I first started the game, wow, then the people are going to interact with me differently depending on my street cred. So as I've been playing again over 150 hours of the game, I've maxed out my street cred, and to be honest, nothing's really changed. Nobody reacts to me differently. I can stand right in front of a cop with my weapons out, and if only I press the L2 button, that's what triggers the animation, but that has nothing to do with my street cred. In fact, it has nothing to do with my previous actions. I think they're entirely interdependent, which kind of defeats the idea of what I think, or what most people classify as an RPG game. So the way I think about it, street cred doesn't really affect anything at all. It doesn't affect who I am or how the environment interacts with me. It just affects what I can buy, which leads me to the next part. The fixtures. The fixtures, they're not really an interacting element of the game. It's more so telling me what to do rather than working with me. So rather than getting a relationship with the fixtures, I'm actually only getting duties, kind of like a laundry list. So the fixtures don't respond to who you are or what you've done and your street cred. It's also interdependent. The fixtures actually have their set amount of ideas and things that you want to do, but I'm not limited to who I can interact with. So in my opinion, I thought that because of the Valentino gang and all of the interactions that I've had with them, I should have nothing to do with the Valentino crew, similar to the Tiger Claws. And yet, that's not the case. I can fulfill all of the gigs with the Valentinos as well as the Tiger Claws, and no matter how many of their gangs I approach in the reality in the world of Night City and Cyberpunk, I can still work with them. So that element kind of, it loses its luster of what an RPG game is. So when I'm doing these missions and I'm picking up these cars, I'm thinking something meaningful is going to happen, but nothing meaningful actually happens. In fact, I get told the same thing, which is, good job. It doesn't matter what I did on the mission, other than if I just completely tank it and fail it.
But yeah, I knew I picked the right merc for the gig. My man will take care of the rest.
What really matters is, did I complete the job? Again, that's not a relationship, and that's not what I think of when I think of an RPG game and how I'm supposed to interact with the world. It tells me something vastly different. It tells me that I'm fulfilling a duty, and I don't really think the missions build up to anything meaningful. If anything, at the very end, I get a weapon and a cool toy that I can use in my future endeavors. It kind of ends after that.
Wanted to tell me something?
About cyberpsychosis? Not really, but thanks again for the help fee.
Until there's another patch or another DLC, and then I get more duties and more things to do, which is fun for me, and I'm sure many of us that play the game. I wouldn't really classify that as a RPG game in the classical sense as we're defining the term in this video. Another thing that breaks down the idea that Cyberpunk is a classical RPG game is a public interaction. It's really weird. I feel like the developers wanted to go somewhere with this, but are kind of piecing together the pieces as they go along, kind of like No Man's Sky. So it gives me the ability to interact with people walking. It tells me I'm on console on Sony, so it tells me to press square to talk with the people. But interestingly enough, there's no meaningful dialogue. In fact, there's no dialogue at all. I'm just triggering a automated NPC response. But if you're gonna give me the interaction button, I'm thinking this is a part of my role. This is part of the meaningful arc that will ultimately define who V is at the beginning, in the middle, and definitely at the end of the game. But that's not what happens. All I receive is a press this button, get this automated response that are totally not linked at all and has no sort of meaningful ending. It just kind of falls flat. So it's another aspect of the game that I feel like it wants to be an RPG game, but doesn't seem like it quite fits the bill. But with all that being said, I'm not saying this because I dislike the game. In fact, Cyberpunk is one of my most favorite games of all time. It matches my sci-fi element. I feel like I am in the place that the game is trying to put me in. The only issue that I have with the game is that it's not classically an RPG game. And actually, I kind of want to remove people from thinking that it's an RPG game because I think it's something entirely different. In my opinion, Cyberpunk shouldn't be judged based on how much the world of Cyberpunk interacts with you, but rather what you do in the world of Cyberpunk. It's really about realizing how small you are in a machine that is completely bigger, stronger, and has a lot more resources than you. So in my opinion, Cyberpunk is not a traditional RPG. I wouldn't even classify it as an RPG. And it's not because it's shallow or it's missing something, but I think it is trying to achieve something completely different. Hence all the bugs, and hence its lofty introduction and launch that kind of fell flat for some users. And guess what? As a gamer and someone who loves sci-fi and loves the game of Cyberpunk, I love what they're doing and I can't wait to see more. Just don't call it an RPG. But Jesus is the best. It's your boy Mo Fresh. Thank you again for tuning into this video. YouTube says that you'll like this video here. I'll see you next time. See ya.